Chapter 1. Snow had a way of softening mistakes, wrapping them in quiet forgiveness. Eliza realized this as she stood on a porch she did not recognize, her fingers aching from the cold and from the weight of the plate she balanced carefully in her hands. Gingerbread cookies, slightly misshapen, slightly overbaked, made with more care than confidence. She had baked them for Mrs. Calloway next door, a small tradition she had kept alive since moving to Pinewood Lane 3 years ago. Mrs. Calloway lived at number 16. This door was number 14. Eliza noticed the wreath first. Mrs. Calloway preferred bold red ribbons, perfectly tied. This one held tiny gold bells instead, unevenly spaced, chiming softly in the winter air. Eliza frowned, her heart sinking as realization crept in. "Oh no," she murmured. Before she could turn away, the door opened. Warm light spilled onto the porch, brushing over her boots and the hem of her coat. A man stood there, clearly surprised, his dark sweater dusted faintly with flour, sleeves rolled up as if he'd been interrupted mid-task. "Yes?" he said, then paused. "Oh, hi. I'm so sorry." Eliza rushed, cheeks burning. "I think I've knocked on the wrong house." For a moment he simply looked at her. Then he smiled, not wide, not startled, just gentle, like he found the situation quietly amusing. "That happens," he said. Behind him, the scent of pine and cinnamon drifted out into the cold. A Christmas tree glowed faintly from the corner of the room, slightly crooked, ornaments mismatched but lovingly placed. "Well," he added after a beat, stepping aside, "since you're already here, would you like to come in? It's freezing." Eliza hesitated. Every sensible thought told her to apologize again and leave. But Christmas Eve carried a softness that made rules feel optional. And her fingers were numb. "Just for a moment," she said. Inside, the house felt new but warm. Boxes stacked neatly along the wall, furniture arranged with care but not quite settled. The tree leaned a little to the left, its star tilted stubbornly. "I'm Noah," he said, taking the plate of cookies carefully. "And I promise I don't usually invite strangers inside." "Eliza," she replied, smiling. They sat at a small kitchen table that wobbled when she rested her elbows on it. He apologized for that, too. Outside, snow fell steadily. Inside, something shifted, quietly, gently, like the night itself had decided to give her a gift she hadn't asked for. Chapter 2. The table creaked each time one of them moved, as though commenting on the unexpected company. "New place," Noah explained, amused. "The table has strong opinions." Eliza laughed softly, surprised by how natural it felt. The sound seemed to settle between them, easing something tight in her chest. Noah poured hot chocolate into 2 mismatched mugs without asking. He added marshmallows, then hesitated before adding a few more, as if deciding the night deserved extra sweetness. The cookies were darker than Eliza preferred. She said so immediately. "They're perfect," Noah replied, biting into one with genuine appreciation. Flawed in a comforting way. Snow pressed gently against the window, muffling the world beyond the glass. The house felt suspended in time. "I moved here 2 weeks ago," Noah said after a moment. "Didn't plan on spending Christmas like this." Eliza nodded. "Me neither." She didn't explain why she was alone this year. He didn't ask. Instead, they traded simple truths, favorite holiday movies, childhood traditions that had faded quietly over time, songs that made December ache in an almost pleasant way. "I always thought Christmas would feel more settled by now," Eliza admitted. "Like I'd have things figured out." Noah leaned back in his chair, thoughtful. Maybe certainty isn't the goal. The clock ticked steadily, but time felt gentle, unhurried. When Eliza finally checked the hour, she startled. "I should go," she said reluctantly, "before someone files a missing person report." Noah stood with her, disappointment flickering briefly before he smiled. "Thank you," he said, "for knocking." The bells chimed again as he opened the door. Snow brushed her cheeks as she stepped back outside. "Merry Christmas," he said softly. "Merry Christmas, Noah." She walked home with cold hands and a warm heart. Chapter 3. Eliza woke slowly, the kind of slow that felt deliberate, as though her body wanted to savor something before her mind caught up. Pale winter light filtered through the curtains, dusting her ceiling in soft gold. For a moment, she stayed very still, listening to the quiet hum of the building and the distant sound of someone shoveling snow outside. Then she remembered. The wrong door, the crooked tree, the quiet man with flour on his sleeve and kindness in his voice. She sat up, pulling the blanket tighter around herself, half expecting the warmth in her chest to fade the moment she acknowledged it. It didn't. If anything, it settled deeper. Eliza padded into the kitchen and brewed coffee, the familiar routine grounding her. Christmas morning had always felt strange. Too loud when she was younger, too quiet now. She checked her phone absently. A few messages. A handful of photos sent by friends in crowded living rooms, smiling beside trees far grander than the one she'd glimpsed the night before. She smiled softly, then surprised herself by not feeling the usual ache. The scent of cinnamon still clung faintly to her scarf, draped over the back of a chair. Proof that last night had been real. At precisely 10 o'clock, there was a knock at her door. Eliza froze. She hadn't told him her apartment number. Had she? Another knock, gentler this time. Heart racing, she opened the door. Noah stood there, hair still damp from a shower, holding a paper bag in one hand and looking uncharacteristically nervous. "I hope this isn't too much," he said. "But I did promise breakfast." She laughed before she could stop herself, relief blooming across her face. "You did." Inside the bag were croissants, still warm, their buttery scent filling the room almost instantly. They sat on opposite ends of her couch at first, a careful politeness lingering between them. Conversation started slowly. How he'd nearly burned his coffee that morning, how she always forgot to buy enough milk. But gradually, the space between them shrank, words flowing easier now that the ice had already been broken. Noah glanced around her apartment, taking in the small details. "This place feels like you," he said. Eliza blinked. "Is that a good thing?" He smiled. "It's a comforting thing." They talked about nothing and everything. How mornings felt heavier during winter. How Christmas expectations never quite matched reality. Eliza surprised herself by admitting she'd been dreading the holiday more than usual this year. "I thought I'd feel farther along by now," she said quietly. "Like I'd know what I was doing." Noah considered that. "I think most of us are pretending." She laughed softly, feeling seen. When he left later that morning, the apartment felt warmer than before, not emptier. As if something had been gently rearranged rather than taken away. Chapter 4. They met again that afternoon without planning to. Eliza had barely finished putting on her coat when she spotted Noah outside her building, hands shoved into his pockets, staring up at the sky like it might give him answers. "You look like someone deciding something important," she teased as he turned, smiling. "I was hoping you'd come out." They walked without direction, snow crunching beneath their boots, breath visible in the cold air. The neighborhood looked different in daylight, brighter, softer, as though the night had lent it some magic that hadn't fully faded. Their shoulders brushed now and then. Each time, Eliza felt a quiet awareness bloom. Not rushed, not overwhelming, just present. At the park, they stopped beneath a tree heavy with snow. Noah reached up, shaking a branch lightly, sending a shower of white drifting down around them. Eliza gasped, laughing as snow dusted her hair. "I deserved that," she said, brushing it off him in retaliation. They stood there, close enough that warmth passed easily between them. "No expectations," Noah said suddenly. "I just want to be honest." Eliza waited. "I don't want to rush this," he continued. "But I also don't want to pretend last night didn't matter." Her chest tightened, not with fear but with recognition. "It mattered to me too," she said. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. The kiss was gentle, careful, as if neither wanted to break the quiet spell surrounding them. It tasted faintly of cold air and coffee and something warm she couldn't quite name. When they pulled apart, snow was still falling. Neither spoke right away. "I think," Eliza said softly, "this might be the nicest Christmas surprise I've ever had." Noah smiled, brushing a gloved thumb lightly against her hand. "Me too." They walked back together, steps unhurried. The world around them hushed and glowing, like it was holding its breath for what came next. Chapter 5. What surprised Eliza most was how naturally Noah folded into her days. There was no dramatic shift, no sudden declaration that changed everything overnight. Instead, he appeared quietly, consistently, walking beside her through routines she'd once thought were meant to be carried alone. He learned the rhythm of her mornings. The way she took her coffee with just enough milk to soften it, but never enough to dilute the taste. She learned how he hummed under his breath when concentrating, how he always double-checked the lock before bed. The holidays passed, then the new year arrived, gentle and unassuming. Noah's house slowly transformed from a temporary space into something lived in. Boxes disappeared. shelves filled. A framed photo of a winter lake appeared in the hallway, Noah as a teenager, smiling in a way that surprised Eliza when she first saw it. "You look happy there," she said. "I was," he replied. "I think I forgot for a while that it was allowed." They cooked together often, burned things occasionally, learned which silences were comfortable and which meant something more. When disagreements came, and they did, they were quiet, careful things, navigated with honesty rather than fear. One evening, as snow fell again outside, Eliza noticed the wreath still hanging on his door. The gold bells were slightly tarnished now. The wreath leaned a little more than it had before. "You know," she said, nudging it gently, "you could fix this." Noah smiled, watching the bells sway. "I don't want to." "Why not?" He considered his answer carefully. "Because it reminds me that something good came from a mistake." Eliza leaned into him, resting her head against his shoulder. The door behind them felt like more than wood and hinges now. It felt like a threshold, one she'd crossed without realizing how much she needed to. Later that night, curled together on the couch, Eliza traced slow circles on his hand. "I think I spent a long time knocking on doors that didn't open," she admitted. Noah squeezed her fingers gently. "I think I was waiting behind one, hoping someone would knock." The thought settled warmly between them. The door had been wrong, the timing imperfect, but the moment had been exactly right. Chapter 6. Snow returned the following year as if on cue. Eliza stood on the familiar porch, breath visible in the cold, a plate of gingerbread cookies balanced in her hands. This batch was better, edges softer, shapes more even. She'd learned a lot in a year. About baking, about patience, about herself. The wreath still hung crooked. She smiled. This time, when she knocked, there was no hesitation, no uncertainty twisting in her chest. The bells chimed brightly, confident in their sound. The door opened almost immediately. Noah stood there, eyes lighting up the moment he saw her. "You're early," he said. "I wanted to make sure I got the right house," she teased. He laughed, stepping aside to let her in. Inside, the tree was taller now but no less imperfect. New ornaments joined the old ones, some handmade, some collected, each carrying a memory. The house smelled like pine and cinnamon, just like it had the year before. They baked together, flour dusting their clothes, laughter filling the kitchen. Music played softly in the background, familiar songs now tied to shared memories rather than longing. Later, as evening settled in, they sat by the window, watching snow fall thick and quiet. "Do you ever think about that night?" Noah asked. "All the time," Eliza replied. "It feels like the moment everything shifted." He reached for her hand. "I almost didn't answer the door." Her heart skipped. "Why?" "I thought it might be the wrong time," he said softly. "I'm glad I was wrong." She leaned into him, warmth blooming in her chest. Outside, the world felt hushed, as if honoring something sacred. As midnight neared, Noah stood and retrieved something from the hallway. He knelt, not dramatically, not urgently, but with quiet certainty. "Eliza," he said, voice steady, "I don't believe in perfect plans, but I believe in choosing the right door when it opens." Tears blurred her vision. "Yes," she whispered, before he could even finish. The bells chimed as snow continued to fall, and for the first time in her life, Eliza knew, without doubt, that she was exactly where she was meant to be.